To help you get started with the BSP Bridge add-on, I've put together 3 example videos that build on each other. In this first example, I will show you how to prepare your meshes using custom tools, create your first presets, and send everything to Substance Painter. In my Blender scene, here's my low poly, which is already unwrapped, and the UV shells are laid out across 4 UDIM tiles. And inside the collection below are my high poly meshes. I start by selecting the collection that has my low poly meshes, then I press Q inside the outliner and then choose Set as Low Poly Export. This collection is now set as the main low collection. A collection color was automatically applied and the suffix _low was added to the name of each mesh and the collection. It also has been updated in the BSP export panel to display that every mesh inside the main low collection will be exported and sent to Painter. Next, I will organize these meshes into subcollections. So I select all low poly meshes, and then I press Q again and select meshes to subcollections. And then I assign a different material for each mesh inside by selecting Assign Materials for Subcollections. Now they have their own material. The material name is based on the name of the corresponding subcollection, but without the _low suffix. And for the high poly, I select the collection, press Q again and click Set as High Poly Export and set the main high collection. Just like before, a collection color ID was assigned, the appropriate suffixes were added automatically, and the collection appears in the BSP export panel under the low poly. And that completes the mesh setup. Now I'm gonna set up the project. I will go to my project inside the File Explorer, and here I create a new folder and call this one Painter. Right-click on the folder and choose Copy as Path, and then I paste the copied path from my clipboard with this button right here into the project directory field. When the directory is set, we can now select the folder under the drop-down menu, select Recent Directories. For the project name, I will use floppy disk, and this will also be the name of the Substance Painter project file. Then I continue with the project settings. For this example, I choose the template Unreal, set the resolution to 2048, enable UV tile since this asset has UDIMs, and leave all other settings unchanged. And now I create my first project preset by clicking Save as Preset and give it a name. You can call this however you like. This preset is now active and it is also available in the drop-down menu. Next, I will set the bake resolution to 2048. I will enable Apply Diffusion. I will leave the cage settings at distance based, but change the max frontal and rear distance to 0.04 and enable average normals, set match to match by mesh name, and set subsampling to 2x2. Now for the mesh maps. Normal map is already enabled, and I will also enable the ID map, set the color source to mesh ID, and leave color generator as U-shift. Next, I enable ambient occlusion. I'll increase the secondary rays to 256. Self-occlusion is already correct. And then for the curvature, I crank up the secondary rays to 256 as well. And for self-intersection, I set it to only same mesh name. After I'm done, I save this as a bake preset. Now for the export, you can choose between FBX and OBJ, and I will use FBX. We see our previously assigned main low and main high collections. And to quickly explain the buttons, this one shows that the auto bake is enabled, and this one shows that the automatic error checks are enabled as well, which I will cover in more detail in the next video. Everything we have to do now is click Send to Painter. This exports all meshes from the collections and automatically launches Substance Painter. There's the low poly, followed by the notification of the auto bake. This loading process can take up more time depending on your hardware and the overall file size of your mesh. The baking starts and we can see our custom bake settings that were correctly applied. After the bake is done, everything is ready for texturing. The project is already saved under the name floppy disk, and you can easily access and open the project location by clicking on this button. This opens the directory inside the Windows File Explorer, and you can see your Substance Painter file. Inside the Resources folder, you can find your exported low poly and high poly meshes. That's all for the first example and the introduction of the BSP bridge.